Today I will be ranking every Floor 2 crusher from worst to best based on how good they are at destroying your car. Let's get into this. At number 21 we have the rocket launch. The main reason this crusher was placed so low is due to the slow destruction of the cars. It got a score of 2.72, which is calculated by the amount of parts per second destroyed from a small car and a large truck. If you want to learn more about how the scores were calculated, look at the pinned comment in the description. Anyways, I still think this crusher is cool, just very slow. Next we have the engine dyno with a score of 3.41. It got this mainly because of the fact that it only destroys 20% of your car. It also takes a long time to rev up, making the score even lower, still a cool crusher nonetheless. At 19th place we have the pulse cannon, which is expected. This crusher hardly destroys your car and takes a whopping 85 seconds to do so. The only reason this crusher got a higher score than the rocket launch or the engine dyno is because it did an okay job of destroying the small car, whereas the engine dyno and the rocket launch were slow at destroying the small car and the large car. At number 18, we have the unbearably slow melting chamber that looks very cool and will certainly destroy your car, but as I said, extremely slowly. I wish this were higher, but it taking a whole minute to destroy your car isn't very practical to say the least. Next we have the volcano pit. It destroyed the small car pretty fast, but took ages to destroy only a third of the large car. The volcano pit is also the first old crusher that got moved up to Floor 2 on this list. Number 16 is the moving spinners, a very lackluster crusher that has slightly less than average efficiency. To be honest, I think it should be on Floor 1, not much else to say. Next up is the washing machine, which is another old crusher moved up to Floor 2. It is more unique than the other old ones, still not much to say. Finally, a unique crusher. I think this one is a good balance of coolness and power. I still wouldn't recommend using this for grinding because of the slow start and the long time it takes to destroy large cars. I think this one will be more for show. Next up is the microwave, very surprising. I thought this one would be higher, but it is still in the lower half of this list despite being the third hardest XP crusher. The main reason this was low is because of the very long time it takes to destroy larger cars, making it useless for grinding. Next we have another old crusher moved up to Floor 2. This one is very similar to the moving spinners, but it chooses to sacrifice power for fast destruction. Overall it managed to beat out the moving spinners by about 2 points, making it almost 20% better, still slightly worse than average. For number 11 we have the space vacuum, the last bad crusher. Any after this are better than average and any lower than this are worse than average. The only reason this crusher landed on the bad list instead of the good list is because of the long depressurizing sequence. Also on a side note, every exotic crusher landed on the bad side, so they are definitely not for grinding and more for the fun. Our first better than average crusher is the ceiling blender. It destroys the car very fast and it is very powerful. Sadly though, it is one of the only crushers on this list without quick activate, so that makes it much slower to turn on. It is very sad to see this crusher without quick activate. If it did have it, then it would probably be in the top 5. Surprisingly enough, at number 9 we have the hammer. It crushed the small car in one hit, but the large car took many hits to destroy. Again, this crusher also has no quick activate, making it considerably worse. Number 8 is the Mega Mill. Although it tied with the hammer, I chose it because it is more original and had a better large vehicle score, making it better for grinding. It is still only about 10% better than average at destroying a car compared to the other Floor 2 crushers. Number 7 is the minefield. It destroyed only about 2/3 of the small car and 1/4 of the large car, instantly of course. I would not recommend this one for grinding since it destroys your wheels before you can drive over more mines, but it is still fun to toy around with. Number 6 is the chomper, probably the best crusher for destroying supercars. If your car goes fast enough, you can just twist yourself into the crusher and instantly destroy your car. Even for larger cars it can be very good, other than the fact that it kills the driver a little too fast. In our number 5 spot we have the base booster, an old Floor 1 crusher moved up to Floor 2. It has always been a very unique fan favorite crusher that is also very effective. Sorry for the ear pain. Anyways, 4th place is the pressure pit, a fast crusher that destroys all of your car every time. It is one of the coolest crushers in Car Crushers 2, adding to its 40% better than average rating. Number 3 is possibly the largest surprise on the list. This old Floor 1 crusher is somehow the third best crusher on Floor 2. This is because of how it absolutely destroys both small cars and large cars in one huge hit. Even if it takes a while to destroy your car, the conveyor will bring it back to the wrecking ball. Second place wasn't much of a surprise. The Tsunami Crusher costs a whopping 20,000 XP, only fair that it is extremely powerful. It also has a large gate so that big cars can easily get inside of it. About the only thing that would make this crusher better would be making it faster, since it is slightly slower than some of the other top crushers. Now, for number 1, by far the most shocking on this list, the Death Slope. I have no idea how this old Floor 1 crusher got to the number 1 spot, but there we go I guess. I mean, it wasn't even close. This crusher is 2.5x better than average and 35% better than number 2. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe, and tell me your favorite car in the comments down below. Until the next, goodbye.